Have two special guests in the studio. Crystal Ramsay-Dyess, 93rd President of the United States Junior Chamber, JCs. Crystal, thanks for stopping in.
Thanks for having me.
And Andrea Pack, the 32nd President of the Ohio Valley JCs. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning.
This is a national organization founded in 1920. The local chapter was founded in 1981. And the Ohio Valley JCs are involved in numerous local projects and programs like Kid Care ID, Christmas Kids, Crawl for a Cure, so on and so forth. But you two are in here talking. Crystal, you're on a national bus tour.
Yes.
Nothing But Nets.
Yes.
You want to explain?
Sure. Nothing But Nets is an organization that is funded by the UN Foundation and was put together to basically provide nets to people in Africa. We've provided some to Dominican Republic, and they are bed nets that people sleep under to protect them from malaria.
This is a story that was covered by Rick Riley, who is one of the foremost journalists in the United States in Sports Illustrated. He challenged each of his readers to donate at least $10 to send anti-malaria bed nets. You also have Bill and Melinda Gates with the Gates Foundation involved, the NBA, the WNBA. A lot of people are involved. For people out there listening right now, you know, when you think about malaria and nets, and you just said the Dominican and Africa, that's so far away and people are so detached. What can you say to make them understand how important this is or why they should even care?
I say the most important thing is that we think it doesn't affect us, but it does. It affects tourism, it affects economy, and all of that stuff comes back and affects us. Not to mention, we send people from our military over there that could potentially have the disease and bring it back to us. And I think the biggest thing for me was the kids. Having a 9-year-old son, it really affects you thinking that, you know, previously every 30 seconds a child dies from malaria, and now every 60 seconds. But we were talking on our travels with one of the Congresswoman's office and talked about how a lady from America had went over to enrich her son while he was still a baby, took him over there to visit, and they stayed for 2 years. He ended up getting malaria, and he died. So you have, you know, our folks are over there visiting, going to school, doing Doctors Without Borders. So it is really affecting us, whether it be roundabout or right up in our face. So I think that us providing an opportunity and discussing the advocacy and the importance of it has been wonderful.
Talking to Crystal Ramsay-Dyess, the 93rd President, United States Junior Chamber, JCs, and Andrea Pack, 32nd President, Ohio Valley JCs. Andrea, at the local level, what can you do? And kind of the same question, you know, again, it's so far away. A lot of times it's hard to get people involved in their own communities, yet alone a campaign that is, you know, as far-reaching as Africa and the Dominican Republic. What do you say to people to make them understand how important this is?
Well, within our local chapter, we kind of, it's easier for us to relate because we do have a chapter member who married a man who grew up in Africa.
Okay.
They actually went over and visited last summer. So the need for these nets, we find very close to our hearts because we've been able to talk one-on-one with him and how much it helped him as he was growing up. So that really helped. Also, we try to kind of make it fun to raise the funds. We do like 50-50 raffles and things of that nature that people are familiar with to raise money to buy these nets, and I think that works rather well.
Crystal, on this bus tour, what's maybe the main question you get, or what do people ask the most or inquire about in regards to this?
I think the biggest thing for us right now is advocacy. So they're asking, you know, why are we going on the tour? Why is it important that we get that message out there? And all we keep saying is that the funding that comes from Nothing But Nets only fills in the gaps from the federal funding. So it's important for us to keep talking to our congressmen and senators and keep asking for that money to keep moving forward.
All right. So, Andrea, at the local level, what can people do to help?
They can contact any of the Ohio Valley JCs to donate. Also, we have advocacy forms, which can be accessed, Crystal,
on the web. So we have advocacy forms that you can fill out on the web, or I think we'll have some out at the Jamboree event tonight. So if you come out tonight, we'll have some that you can fill out live.
Where's the bus tour take you next?
We are into Pennsylvania next, headed over to Hamburg.
How many different stops on this tour? I mean, how many different states?
16 states.
Okay.
So we started on June 10th, and we don't get back home to Florida until August the 12th.
In that period of time, how many people, and this, I don't want to get too morbid, but just to kind of drive home the point, how many people, and this is something you may not be able to answer, but I mean, I'm trying to, you know, how many people would perish in that time? How many people, you know, to drive home the point about how much this is needed? You have any estimate?
Well, a child dies every 60 seconds. So imagine we've been on the road for almost 40 days. How many children we've lost, not including
That's
adults.
An unbelievable stat. And again, it comes back to, living over here, and I think that's probably hard for a lot of people to fathom or even imagine.
Yes.
What can people do nationally out there listening? This station hits 24 states in Canada. So, what can somebody do if they want to get involved?
They can go to our CrowdRise page. So we have crowdrise.com, and you can go to JCI USA and make a donation, of course, which helps. And then our biggest thing is that we're asking that you look. We have put the advocacy cards all over Facebook, and we're asking that you reach out, fill out those advocacy cards, and also talk to your congressmen and senators and ask them to keep that funding going for those diseases.
Andrea, you mentioned Jamboree in the Hills. You're going to be out there, out and about?
Yes, sir. We're heading back out this afternoon, actually.
Okay. And will you be handing out literature? I mean, are you, is that a fundraiser for the JCs? I mean, what's the function out there? Well,
technically, we're just kind of having a meet and greet for the JCs to meet with the national president, but we will probably have advocacy forms out there as well that people can fill out. Fundraising is not permitted on site.
Okay. So. How big was it, Crystal, to get a guy like Rick Riley or, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the NBA, involved with something like this?
It's huge for us, huge. And then we just keep adding partners. We just added the WWE. We have the Major League Baseball, Major League Soccer. So we have lots of partners, and it's a huge deal for us. And even on the tour, we've got to stop by and participate with the Sky in Chicago. We participated with the Cleveland Indians last week when they won their game, and we'll be out in Philadelphia working with the Union, the soccer team, when we leave here. So big deal for us and very important to get that message out.
Okay. Crystal, Andrea, I appreciate you guys stopping in.
Thanks for having us.